Hey everyone, True Review here. So this one's going to be different. Here we have the top 10 cross-dressers in gaming. But I'd like to note that this counts for anyone who was born as one gender, but dresses as the other, so both cross-dressers and transgender are okay for this one.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ready or not, here we go.
Cremisius Acclasi. Crem is a soldier in the game Dragon Age Inquisition. Having been raised among the poor as a girl, she identified herself more with the male gender, and even went as far as pretending to shave. She would eventually join the army for several years before being found out as a chick, because that's not allowed for some reason. Despite all of this though, Crem views herself as a man, and thus we have the first transgender on the list. Reni Wassulmaier. Reni is one of the smaller characters in GTA Vice City stories, and in her/his related missions, you'll end up taking him/her to the hospital for yet another goddamn sex change. Reni was born as a girl, but cannot for the life of him/her make up his/her goddamn mind of which gender to go for, meaning that Reni could be a girl 1 minute and then a dude the next. Newman. Robin Newman is one of the witnesses during the third case in the 3DS game Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. Robin is first introduced to us as an overhyped, testosterone-fueled bro who's prone to breaking his own works of art because he's that impressed by them. But lo and behold, during one of the first trials in this case, Robin is revealed to actually be a girl, and is a complete sucker for elaborate dresses and pink sparkly things. That doesn't stop her from breaking everything she lays her hands on though.
Lane Goodman.
7!
Bridget! Bridget is one of the characters in the Guilty Gear series, and once again, though wearing the outfit of a nun and having the voice and physique of a girl, he's actually a he, having been raised by his parents as a girl secretly because they didn't want him to be sacrificed after he was born. I'd imagine that a lot of you who have never played Guilty Gear will not have a clue about any of that, but the main point is that it's another cross-dresser. Erica! Erica is the barmaid in the game Catherine. She is friends with Vincent and his cronies, and will serve everyone drinks throughout each interval stage, and will often give her unwanted opinion on pretty much everything. Sorry girls, don't mean to have a moan or anything. But as the strange nightmares that have been plaguing the men of the region begin to make their move on Erica too, it soon becomes apparent that she's not all that she appears to be. And poor Toby finds that out the hard way when he discovers, soon after spending the night with Erica, that her name used to be Eric. Yep, that was a well-disguised trap he fell into. And then fell back into several times. Chihiro Fujisaki. Chihiro is one of the students in Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, and holds the title of Ultimate Computer Programmer, going as far as creating an AI program of herself that eventually outlives her in both time and usefulness. But the thing is with Chihiro is that she's not actually a she. It's a dude. Chihiro's deception comes down more to how he sees himself physically, rather than which gender he identifies with the most. Chihiro wants to be a manly dude, but being birthed with a naturally effeminate physique, and being quite weak-willed, he found it easier to pretend to be a girl than trying to be a man. Flea! Flea is one of the bosses in Chrono Trigger. Despite being a tough encounter, Flea appears before us wearing a dress and cape, and with his hair tied in plaits. Though definitely being a male, Flea doesn't really care about which gender's clothes he dresses in. Not to the point where he enjoys wearing women's clothes, he just doesn't mind wearing either.
It was those 3 words to save my life.
Naoto Shirogane! Time for a bit of Persona 4. Naoto is a junior detective working alongside the police in Persona during the murder investigation. Whilst at first he comes across as a threat to your party, he eventually becomes a reliable source of information and eventually joins the group after the police cast him aside. But it doesn't end here because Naoto is hiding something. And given the title of this video, it should be pretty obvious what that is. Yep, Naoto is actually a girl in disguise. Naoto doesn't really identify with either gender, but has instead identified herself with the gender that closely matches her ideal image of a gruff, hardboiled detective. And the disguise is quite convincing when you compare how she looks in her detective gear to her in everyday clothes. Birdo! Birdo first came to us in Super Mario Bros. 2 as a weird bird-like creature, but for some strange reason, Birdo's gender is hinted at as being a bit of both, or possibly of the male orientation, meaning that Birdo isn't all that she seems to be, if you know what I'm saying.
One more time, got me feeling so free.
Poison! Poison is a playable fighter in the Final Fight / Street Fighter series. Though being a tough fighter, and a sexy one at that, Poison is actually described as a transsexual lady due to the idea of players beating up a female character was a taboo back when the first Final Fights came out. Since then, nothing's been done to change Poison's description, and so to this day, she remains as one of video gaming's toughest ladyboys. And that's all folks, but if you happen to be one of YouTube's toughest ladyboys, well then, good for you. In which case you should like and subscribe. By the way, True Review is now on Twitter, so be sure to follow the shit out of me through @true_reviewer, or just True Review, to get the latest on what's happening and when new videos will come out. Anyway, see you later.
Sometimes I think this life is killing me. I swear sometimes I think this life is killing me.